There is a moment when everything changes, a moment when the separate self dissolves into the flow of life, and manifestation transforms from something you do into something you are. This is where our journey together culminates. Not with another technique to practice, but with an invitation to embody everything we've explored. I want to begin this final chapter with a story. Years ago, I met a remarkable woman in a small mountain village. Though she lived in a humble dwelling and owned few possessions, her presence radiated an unmistakable power. People traveled from distant places seeking her guidance, not because she offered complex spiritual teachings, but because reality itself seemed to reorganize around her in miraculous ways. Curious about her approach to manifestation, I asked what techniques she used to create such extraordinary results. Her response changed everything I understood about conscious creation. "I don't use techniques," she said with a gentle smile. "I simply remember what I am. The river doesn't practice flowing, it is the flow." This profound truth is where our exploration ultimately leads. Beyond all frameworks, beyond all methods, exists the simple recognition of your true nature as the conscious flow of life itself. Throughout our journey together, we've moved through progressive understandings that reality is responsive consciousness rather than fixed matter, that manifestation follows architectural principles, that vibrational coherence aligns your entire being, that quantum navigation allows shifting between parallel realities, that the coherence field creates the optimal state for creation, and that manifestation occurs through connection with the entire field rather than isolated effort. Each of these realizations has been preparing you for the ultimate understanding. You are not the creator of your reality. You are reality itself in the process of creation. The ancient Zen masters understood this when they spoke of becoming one with the activity at hand. The mystical traditions pointed to this when they spoke of union with the divine. The quantum physicists approach this understanding when they recognize the observer cannot be separated from the observed. Living in the flow means embodying this truth moment by moment, allowing life to express itself through your unique form without the interference of a separate self trying to control outcomes. This isn't passive resignation, it's active participation from a place of unity rather than separation. When you recognize yourself as the conscious flow of life, manifestation becomes as natural as breathing. Let me offer you a simple but profound practice to experience this state right now. Bring your awareness to whatever you're experiencing in this moment. Sounds, sensations, thoughts, emotions. Notice that all of these experiences are appearing within your consciousness. Now, instead of identifying yourself as the person having these experiences, recognize yourself as the awareness within which all experiences arise. You are not the content of consciousness, but consciousness itself. From this recognition, bring to mind something you wish to manifest. Rather than seeing it as something outside yourself that you need to attract or create, recognize it as an expression of the same consciousness that you are. Feel the distinction. You're not a separate self trying to manipulate reality. You're the conscious field within which both you and your desire are appearing. From this perspective, manifestation isn't about getting what you want. It's about allowing what's already within you to express itself. This shift in identity from separate creator to conscious flow fundamentally transforms the manifestation process. The sense of struggle falls away, replaced by an effortless participation in the unfolding of life. I worked with a client who had spent decades studying manifestation techniques without experiencing the consistent results he sought. Despite his extensive knowledge, manifestation remained a struggle. When he began practicing this recognition of himself as the conscious flow rather than a separate creator, everything shifted. Within months, opportunities he'd been struggling to create began appearing synchronistically. Relationships transformed, health improved, and financial abundance flowed naturally. The key insight he shared was, I stopped trying to make things happen and started allowing myself to be the happening. This brings us to what I call flow state navigation, a way of moving through life guided by the intelligence of the whole rather than the limited perspective of the separate self. Most people navigate life through the analytical mind, weighing options, making plans, and forcing outcomes based on what they think is best. Flow state navigation operates from a deeper intelligence, the same intelligence that knows how to keep your heart beating and the planets orbiting without effort. To practice flow state navigation, begin your day with this simple question: how does life want to express through me today? Ask not from the mind, but from the recognition of yourself as the conscious flow. Throughout the day, when facing choices or challenges, return to this perspective. Rather than asking, what do I want, or what should I do? Ask, what wants to happen here? How does the flow want to move in this situation? This approach doesn't mean abdicating responsibility or choice. It means making choices from alignment with the whole, rather than from the limited perspective of the separate self. You'll recognize when you're in this flow state by the feeling of rightness and ease, even amidst challenges. Actions taken from flow have a quality of obviousness. They simply feel like the natural next step rather than a forced decision. The environments you create around yourself can either support or hinder this flow state. Spaces filled with objects that resonate with your essence naturally enhance your connection to flow. This is why surrounding yourself with art that speaks to your soul, like the pieces you might discover at abcvisuals.net, can significantly enhance your ability to maintain flow state awareness throughout your day. Many people experience flow states occasionally, but struggle to maintain them amidst daily challenges. The key to sustainable flow lies in recognizing that challenges, resistance, and apparent obstacles are not separate from the flow, but part of it. Just as a river doesn't stop flowing when it encounters rocks, it simply flows around them. Your conscious flow doesn't stop when challenges arise. The separate self sees obstacles and reacts with contraction. Flow consciousness sees the same circumstances and moves through them with creative adaptation. When you notice yourself contracting around a challenge, it's a signal that you've temporarily shifted from flow consciousness back to separate self-perception. Instead of fighting this contraction, simply recognize it as another experience arising within the conscious flow that you are. This recognition itself returns you to flow. As we conclude our journey together, I want to share a truth that has transformed countless lives. This flow state, this recognition of yourself as conscious flow rather than separate creator, is your natural condition. You haven't been learning something new, but remembering what you've always been beneath the layers of conditioned separation. The practices and understandings we've explored haven't been adding anything to you, but removing the obstructions to your natural state. Like clearing clouds from the sky, they reveal what was always present. In the days and weeks ahead, I invite you to continue exploring this flow consciousness. Begin each morning with the recognition of yourself as the conscious flow of life itself. Make decisions and take actions from this recognition. Create environments that support your natural state. Notice how this shift in identity transforms not just what you can manifest, but your entire experience of life. The boundary between manifestation practice and living dissolves. Life itself becomes the practice, and every moment an opportunity to embody your true nature as conscious flow. Remember the wisdom of the mountain village woman. The river doesn't practice flowing, it is the flow. You are not learning to create your reality. You are remembering that you are reality itself in the beautiful, continuous process of creation. This is the art of being, and it changes everything.